Recently came across something that just might be the bomb shizzle, and this comes out from the UK, no T-tax included, and it is the exact same idea, but it is made much gooder. So we're going to look at what they developed as well as their tarp, and we're going to set this thing up and see how she rocks. So for starters, all of their jungle loop lines fit right inside this pouch, so you can actually secure this, and we'll try this out. Secure it to the tarp, and then that way they're there, and it just all kinds of comes out, right? It's about 7 foot of cordage, and I got, I think, 6 of these things. So it does the same thing, but being smaller cordage, it is going to be a little bit lighter and not take up as much room. So here's the tarp from TRC. It's a 9x9. Let's get this thing set up. It ain't going anywhere. The more tension that comes on it, the tighter she is. So we just got these with a lark's head in there. And look at these corners. So you got 3 rows of stitching, backed by PVC, backed by PVC, backed by PVC, and sealed. Here you got 2 rows of stitching, also backed by PVC. Not too shabby. So we got a quick shelter put up, and I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the best tarps that I've used in the past. Of course, you see me use AquaQuest. I got a Chinese one. I got a Light Fighter tarp, and they are all great. But this thing takes what the Brits would call a basha to another level. Between all of the corners being reinforced, all of the extra stitching, this particular one is made out of 70D, so it is super rugged, and I think this thing is going to give me years of use, no doubt. You know, it wasn't all that long ago when I introduced you to the jungle loop, and I used paracord just like this, right? And so all you do if you want to make one using cordage on your own is you take about 2.5 times the length that you want, and you start making overhand knots. The problem with paracord, obviously, it's going to take between 60 and 70 feet, but it ends up being super bulky if you just make one ridge line. So what TRC did here was they send out 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 of these things that are all neatly packed, small cordage, strong enough to get the job done. And I'm pretty stoked about this thing. And I like these mesh bags. Obviously, they're not going to absorb or hold any water, and so it's just going to drain really good, and obviously keeps everything nice and compact and stored for you. The last thing you want to do is have to fight to find your crap. So they do have these things in multicam and then just green, and we're only off a few feet, maybe 25 feet from the tarp, and I got it set up a little bit to let some airflow go through, but it blends in pretty well, and I like that. The problem I have with multicam is it's just so brown that unless you're in a dry, arid location, it is not the camo pattern that I prefer, and I like this plain green one. I'm gonna get these other 2 jungle loops set up right in line with the center. And then we're gonna see the ultimate test of any tarp that's out there, or any tarp, any tent, any of that crap, is can it actually get back into the bag without being a pain in the ass? We'll find that out as well. All right, team, now for the ultimate test. Can we get this thing back in the sack without it being a pain in the ass? Let's find out. If it can make this test, we just might have found the, for Rizzle, best tarp system in existence. See if we can't get it secured. Get out of here. Come on. Unfreaking believable. Somebody made a sack that fits it without losing your freaking mind. So, love the tarp. Love the idea of having 6 different runs of paracord. It gives you a little bit more options. The only place where it may prove to be a challenge is if you do just need a ridge line. And if you just do use one, it is absolutely the fastest deploying and redeploying ridgeline ever. This one is going to take a little bit longer to set up, depending on your configuration, because you are dealing with multiple tie-out points as opposed to just a ridge. But you know, there's all kinds of shelter configurations that you need more than just a ridgeline. So whatever it is that rocks your world as far as shelter configurations is going to help dictate and shape what you want. But you could also use a conjunction or a combination of both, right? So that you have one ridgeline in your kit, and then you have these jungle loops as well. It gives you even more options. Options are good. Let me know what you think. Well, team, let me know what you think about this 3 by 3 meter Basha tarp from TRC. And we will keep this conversation rolling. As always, man, I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft, develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. We know you're out there! Come to my voice! Some important words on this tarp and why I think I'm really impressed with it. And ultimately, it comes down to me thinking about a basketball player. And I'm not a huge basketball fan by any stretch of the imagination, but there was a player, and you tell me what you would think of a player like this. This dude missed 9,000 shots. He lost 300 games, and 26 of those they could have won if he just had made that one last game-winning shot. Literally failed over and over and over again. You might call this dude a failure, but I would call him the GOAT. Of course, we're talking about none other than Michael Jordan. Arguably the best basketball player of all time, right? And what I like about this particular tarp is that it carries forward that drive to keep falling forward. Keep pushing until you think you're there, and then push a little bit more to make it even better. No matter what we're facing in life, it's just like Michael Jordan. It's just like developing and doing some research and development on trying to make the best tarp that you can. You're going to fail as you get there. But if you keep moving forward, if you keep falling forward, eventually you're going to come out on top, and you're going to have some badass stories. Team, I appreciate you guys. You stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.